Now we're starting to entertain arguments for God's existence. Now this first argument, brothers and sisters, is not a kind of cold, rational argument. But it's very beautiful because it's what you call an emotional, existential argument. It concerns existence. It concerns our existence, okay? And I tell you why it's important, because we should not view the human being as an abstract entity that is like a computerized program, that is a computer model that you give some information and outputs come out as a result. And I really like this because it shows the logical implications of denying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they're emotional in essence, right? So what I want to show you is life without God, without Allah, is absurd. Absolutely absurd. It's what you call an existential disaster. If you deny the divine and the associated ideas of an akhirah and the associated ideas of a day of judgment, logically life is absurd. I am not saying that atheists have to believe life is absurd, no. But if you follow through with the logical steps of atheism, if you use your brain, you will conclude what we're going to be talking about today. So, without Allah, without the divine, there is no hope, no ultimate justice, no ultimate purpose, no ultimate value, and no meaningful happiness. Let's address these ideas. And by the way, let me just make something very clear to you. What do we mean by atheists? I want you to write this down. You have to understand this concept because we're going to use it in the next few days. What we mean by atheist here is philosophical naturalism. Philosophical naturalism. So philosophical naturalism is the view that there is no supernatural, there is no divine, everything can be explained, all phenomena can be explained by physical processes. This is atheistic philosophical naturalism. I repeat, philosophical naturalism is that there is no divine, there is no supernatural, everything can be explained by physical processes. Okay? This is what we're talking about. Now, most atheists adopt philosophical naturalism, but we have to be intellectually fair and intellectually just that not all atheists adopt philosophical naturalism. Some academics, for example, believe in non-physical processes. Now, notwithstanding what I've just said, if someone denies the divine, if someone denies the supernatural, if someone denies Allah, a creator, then the first logical implication of this view is that there is no ultimate hope. We cannot claim for any ultimate hope. What do I mean by ultimate hope? What I mean is light at the end of the tunnel. Logically, you cannot claim light at the end of a dark tunnel. You could have a great life for the first 70 years, the last 10 years you have cancer, and you're slowly dying. Where is the hope that you can continue pleasure after pain? Where is the hope that after this relatively painful experience that there will be light at the end of the tunnel? Where is the hope after the darkness of your life you will have some kind of light? You may claim relative hope within your existence, but is there ultimate hope? No, there's not. Because if you had a great life, there is no hope for it to continue. If you're in your sickbed and you're about to die, there's no hope for light at the end of the tunnel, according to atheistic naturalism. Everything ends in the grave. We become worm buffet, which may not be a problem for some people. But all I'm saying is, we have an intuitive feeling of ultimate hope. That ultimate hope is dismantled as a result of philosophical naturalism, because it claims there is no supernatural, no divine. Following on from this, there is no ultimate hope in justice. You can have no hope for ultimate justice. I repeat, you can have no hope for ultimate justice. Here's a thought experiment. Imagine you're the old Jewish lady in 1940s Nazi Germany. She sees and witnesses her husband being shot in the head, her sons being shot in the head, and then she's now in the queue, waiting to be pushed in to the gas chamber. Waiting to be pushed into the gas chamber. So she's waiting to be pushed into the gas chamber, and then she gets pushed into the gas chamber and she dies. According to philosophical naturalism, there's no divine, no supernatural. Everything can be explained by physical processes. Where is her ultimate hope? Can she derive ultimate hope for justice in her state? No. Now you may argue, hold on a second, Hamza, but we beat the Nazis. We beat the Nazis. We took them to the Nuremberg trials. We won. We took them to justice. Really? Give that to that Jewish lady now. According to philosophical naturalism, she's just worm buffet. A rearrangement of carbon. She's worm meat. She is absolutely worm meat. So in that situation, how can you give justice to nothing? So she has no hope for ultimate justice, according to philosophical naturalism. Moving on. This, for me, is the most powerful one, sisters, brothers. Listen to me very carefully. Everybody, most sane, morally tuned people agree that human beings have ultimate value. What we mean by ultimate value, that's not just based on one's limited mind and emotions. If the whole world were to come and agree that human beings have no value, we still have value. This is what we mean by ultimate value. However, if you are a philosophical naturalist, meaning that there is no supernatural, no divine, everything can be explained by physical processes. If that is the case, then how can you claim ultimate value? What difference is there between me and a snowman? I get an axe and I chop the snowman's head. And I get the axe and I chop my head. What difference is there? According to philosophical naturalism. Let's not get sentimental. Oh, Hamza, you're a human. You have feelings. You have a consciousness. Just shut up for 1 minute and listen to what you're saying. You're being sentimental. Because the statement, you're just human, you have feelings, you have consciousness, it's just neurochemicals firing in your brain, which are further reduced to electrons whizzing around. Why does that have any ultimate value? A decapitated snowman and a decapitated Hamza is no different in the grand scheme of things. It's pitiless indifference. One is a rearrangement of carbon, the other is a rearrangement of carbon. In actual fact, my rearrangement of carbon is far more colorful than that one. Right? So, if we can be reduced, according to philosophical naturalism, reduced to physical processes, causally connected in some way, then why is one arrangement of physical processes more valuable than the other? Ultimately, with all due respect, there is no difference. Does it make sense? Because if philosophical naturalism is true, even Richard Dawkins mentioned this in one of his books, I forgot what it's called now. He basically says it's pitiless indifference. You think the universe cares about the bus running you over and you happen to die? Ha 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 ha. It's pitiless indifference. Literally, pitiless indifference. Just physical processes that don't have any intrinsic value, causally connected in some way, which are further reduced to electrons whizzing around. Why does that particular arrangement have more value than another? Why does the poor snowman have to be devalued in such a way? Right? He can argue in a court of philosophical law, in a court of philosophy, hey, I should be equal to a human because I'm made of the same stuff. I'm just slightly rearranged in a different way. Right? Now one atheist said to me once, hold on a second, Hamza, it's because you are more complex. Really? So since when was complexity something that gives us more value? So if we were to design artificial intelligence that is more complex, would that mean that they have more rights than us and more value? Thank you. You're just making this up just to justify your fitra, your innate nature. But you can't justify this innate drive of believing in ultimate value of human life if you adopt a worldview that's atheistic from the point of view that there's no divine, no supernatural, everything can be explained by physical processes. This is very, very powerful. Now, I'm not saying this is an argument for God's existence, but it provides the fertile ground for all our arguments to take root. Because human beings are those abstract robots. We have a ruh, a soul, and emotions, right? And we need to make people understand the logical implications of philosophical naturalism. Likewise, we don't have any ultimate purpose. You know, if you really think about it, if this universe is based on physical processes, well, fundamentally can be explained, all phenomena can be explained by physical processes. There's no divine, no supernatural, no creator, no ultimate purpose for our existence, then we don't have any ultimate purpose. So in the grand scheme of things, do things have any real meaning? Really? What's the point of, we're on a sinking ship, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this plane is going to crash. What's the point of, I don't know, giving a glass of milk to the old lady next to you? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it makes no difference. So what ultimate meaning is there? There's no sense of purpose. Oh, I want to be a doctor. I want to save the world. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a poet. I want to have 1 million Instagram followers. I want this. I want that. This is all absolutely meaningless in the grand cosmic scheme of things. There was a time that you were not even mentioned and remembered, as Allah says, and you're going to be forgotten very, very quickly, very, very easily. And if there's no fundamental purpose for anyone's existence, why should we even care anyway in the first place? There is no reason. That's what we mean. There's no ultimate reason for you. It's all chemicals, it's all physical processes. Any sense of purpose is an illusion. It's like saying, let's pretend to have purpose. Just like children playing around. Mummies and daddies, nurses and doctors, right? Or dinosaurs and aliens. Let's just pretend. And this goes against our intuitive understanding. Finally, and this for me is very important, because everyone wants a sense of happiness. Everyone wants to be happy. And happiness doesn't have a reason. Happiness is an end. That's why Jannah is the ultimate happiness, because the definition of Jannah is to be in a state in which you don't want to be in any other state. So, we want to be happy. But the question is, people can't be happy. By the way, I'm not going to claim that if you're not religious and if you deny God, you can't be happy. Of course you can be happy, because our happiness is as a result of the meaningful relationships that we have, the meaning that we give those relationships. However, my problem here is we can't have a sense of ultimate happiness, because some of its meaning is diminished. Why? Let me give you a thought experiment. Are you listening? Imagine every single one of you is sedated immediately right now. You're sedated. And you all drop dead, sleep. and all of a sudden you wake up. You find yourself on a plane, Emirates, first class, beautiful, flatbed, designed for a luxurious, comfortable experience. You have bliss on tap, food on tap, favorite games, favorite nasheeds, amazing scenery. You have massage, masseuse, anything you want, you just have to say, and it happens. After 5 minutes, let me ask you a question. In that state, are you happy? Of course you won't be. Maybe for the first 5 minutes, because of your excitement, once that settles down, you're going to be like, how the hell did I get here? Where is it headed to? Where's the destination? What am I supposed to do? I don't even have my passport. You would only have a meaningful sense of happiness on the plane if you could answer those questions. Life is no different. You're thrown into existence. Right? It's like you were sedated all this time. You just wake up into existence. Right? If you don't ask these questions and get the answers, or attempt to get the answers, how can you have a meaningful happiness? This is... Maybe people have a happiness that's not very meaningful from this point of view.